Welcome to my update one for my Pan That Face palette project. I've been hard at work on the products that I introduced to you last time, so I have some pretty good progress to show you. Okay, so let's get right into it. The first palette is this Natasha Denona Tan, Bronze, and Glow palette. It was brand new when I showed it to you. It was only swatched a few times, and here it is now. Oh, and I just gouged the bronzer with my fingernail. Okay, so let me talk through each one. I wanted to pan or work on these three products in the palette because this is a highlighter and I'm working on a separate highlighter in my project pan. So I'm only working on the other three. I wanted to hit pan on all of them first, and then if I do that earlier enough in the year, I will make a sort of a reach goal of panning the whole thing. So that's kind of my thought process. And this particular highlight, cream highlight, was what I was going to work on the most because it looks lighter in the pan, if you can see next to this one. So I figured I would work on this in the wintertime and this one in the summertime when I'm a bit darker and tanned. But it was not the case. So looking at the pan, it looks lighter, but when you swatch it, so the cooler one is called Glow Cream Base, and the gold one's called Super Glow. So this one's Super Glow, this one's Glow Cream Base. And let me just quickly swatch them for you. So as you can see, this is the cooler one that looks lighter in the pan, and this is the one that looks darker in the pan but is actually lighter when swatched. So it's very interesting, and both of them are a little bit darker than my skin tone, but as you can see, this one in particular puts a little cast on my skin. So I'm definitely now going to be saving this for the summertime to pan, and then I'm currently working on this lighter golden champagne color. So let me tell you the usage of everything, and also I'm so excited. I bought a scale. I just arrived, just on my doorstep, so I haven't even unpacked it, but I'm going to be tracking grams as well going forward of product used. So this particular one is called, once again, Glow Cream Base, and I used that 5 times because I wanted to obviously pan it, and this was before I discovered that it was darker. So that's this swatch here, and then the Super Glow, which, by the way, this feels drier when you swatch it. It's got like a very thin, dry texture. It's very strange. And then this Glow Cream is actually much creamier and smoother. So, but they look equally bright on the skin. There's no difference, but it's interesting that the texture is different for both. So I wonder if usage numbers will differ when I hit pan on them. But anyway, I used the bronzer just one time. I still plan to hit pan on this, but I'm working on a different bronzer that hopefully I'm not super close to finishing, but that I'll finish very, very sooner than later. And then I'll focus more on this bronzer right here. So this one only once, this one 5 times, but I have worked on the Super Glow, the goldeny one, 18 times. 18 times. So I'm really happy with that because I don't wear makeup every day, and if you see me looking down, I've tracked the usage this way. I put the product name and then just kind of tracking each usage. So at a glance, I'll be able to tell how many uses per product I did. So this one's 18, and as you can see, there's a good bit of wear going on. There's a really weird hard pan happening. But it doesn't seem to affect the pigment or application, so I'm just ignoring it. I don't want to waste any product by trying to scrape it off when it's still like working. When I put my finger on it, the pigment still comes off. So, but it's a weird reverse pan that's happening, almost like a bump. I don't know. Anyway, this product is brand new, so I know it hasn't gone bad or anything. It's just maybe how it reacts with the oils on my fingers, because I do use my fingers for these. It's just the easiest. Anyway, that is my progress on this palette. The next palette is the Hourglass blush palette that I introduced to you last time. That's got 3 blushes, and I wanted to focus on mood exposure because I did have a bit of progress just naturally using it. As you can see, it's not as domed as the other 2 blushes, and I think it's very close to hitting the square pan because there's a little bit of something happening in there. However, let me just swatch it. Through using it for the last month, I used it 5 times. I noticed that even though I promised you that it hadn't gone off, because that's a very old palette, I think it has gone off. So as you can see, it's quite chalky and it looks weirdly shimmery on my face. So what I mean by that is, you know, highlighters tend to be shimmery and sparkly. So you'd think it would look sort of flattering as a highlighter, if nothing else, as a highlighting blush, but the shimmer in this catches every crevice. So I look like on my cheeks, which don't normally have a lot of texture, so now it looks very textured and wrinkly. It's not flattering. And so I think it's expired because it certainly didn't look like that when I first used it. I'm going to test these blushes on my own and see how they are. If they're also not great in terms of quality, I'm just going to declutter this palette. If these are good, then I'll just save this palette but not use this one. I think this one has gone off. It looks funky, for lack of a better word, on my face now. And it ruined a few looks that I did. So I'm not going to hate pan it. And ooh, let me show you when I purchased it, November 2014. So it's extremely old. Oh my gosh, it's over a decade old. That's pretty scary. Yeah, so I think I'm retiring this palette. I'm so sorry that I'm giving up on it. I didn't mean to. I thought the quality was still there, but it really wasn't after a lot of use, or 5 uses. But to make up for that, I have an even more exciting announcement. So this brand new Dragon palette from Hourglass from this past holiday release, I love it so much that I just want to keep using it. And even though it's new, I want to pan it because I don't want it to end up like this one, right? So I might as well start panning it when it's brand new and you know, get all of my money's worth. Make sure to use up the product long before it's expired. So I will be focusing on these 3 shades. So these 2 finishing powders, I use the bright one in the center of my face, and then I use the slightly darker one on the perimeters to soften makeup looks and just blend everything together. I absolutely love Hourglass's finishing powders. And then this blush, even though it looks kind of scary bright, it's actually not very pigmented. So I will be using that blush as well. See, it's very gentle pinky gold. I really love it. It's so flattering and there's not much pigment to it, so it doesn't really disturb anything, and it's a great sort of pick me up for blushes once my blush is worn off, or if I'm running out the door and I don't want to worry about over applying blush. So I just kind of layer it on top of any other blush I currently have on, usually later on in the day or just at first when I'm doing my makeup. I really love it. You see how it like kind of filters the cheek? It's gorgeous. So I've used I've used the 2 finishing powders already because I switched this in as soon as I realized that the blush was expired. So I used both finishing powders 13 times, and I used the blush, which is called Peach Fusion, 9 times. So that's been my work on them since the introduction. I don't know if you can tell if there's any dips. Probably not, no. Although there's some dirt happening, some dust happening. I should probably clean that up. But maybe these are not as domed. See, this one is very domed because I haven't touched that one, and the edges of the kind of X pattern have been worn off. I feel like you can see a subtle difference. But anyway, I'm going to be working on these very hard and trying to hit pan first, like I said, and possibly use them up. We'll just see how fast I go. So that's it. That's for my first update. If you're doing a similar project, please let me know so I can come and watch. This is one of my favorite videos to watch, and that's why I decided to make it. So subscribe if you haven't already, and please like and comment down below. Thanks again. See you at the next update. Bye.